Welcome back, guys, to the POS podcast. Today we have a very special guest. This has been in the works for a long time now. Shakeinburger, right here. It's her birthday today too, so leave a
Oh,
comment in the comment section saying happy birthday to Shake. And of course, we
thank
have
you.
our usual host, Be the King. But Shake, would you like to say anything about yourself before we get into the podcast?
Well, thank you, and thank you guys for having me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I know it's been in the works. There's not enough time in the day
Yeah,
for everything that we all need to get done in our lives. I'm just like, we need more time and less
yeah.
sleep so we can get stuff done. But yeah,
Yeah.
I literally, I'm the type I need 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise, I can't function too. So if I could go off for like 2 hours of sleep, then I'd probably be good. But anyway, so, my name is Shake. I have been streaming for about 2.5 years now. I started streaming like a lot of people during the pandemic. At the time, I worked as a case manager at a residential treatment center. We were pretty shut down, pretty secluded, and I played one of those situations. I think a lot of people, you played video games anyway, so you're like, why not meet some people and stream it as well. So I started doing that in 2020. Um, and I've just been doing it ever since. I love it. I love the people I've met. And I just love I it's not even just streaming. I love creating content. And that's the part that I really enjoy. I love the kind of I can create off streaming and pull it and create something. And then that's what I enjoy. And then, just having fun of the game itself. Streaming for 2.5 years. I have since left that job. I now, as you guys know, I own a pizzeria. So I've owned that for a year and a half. I bought the pizzeria. I worked there for about 8 years. And they put it up for sale. So we bought it and it's been super busy, which is why I've had to stream less, which is not the worst. It's bittersweet, for sure, because I love doing this, but at the same time, that, some stuff has to come first. So it's
Yeah.
all about balancing. And
Yeah.
it took me a very long time to figure out balancing, but I'm still working on it, but I think I've got it better. So, but yeah, that's pretty much. I love Harry Potter. I love my dogs. Pretty much me. Harry Potter, dogs, and pizza.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I have a couple questions right off the bat.
sure.
So I've been in your stream so many times and
Yeah.
I've never noticed, are those real books that are behind you? Are those all like
I don't know if I want to tell
individual
you.
books? Or is that a setup?
I don't know if I want to tell you the
Oh, you got
truth.
it. You got to
I'm
let us
like, I
know.
used to read a lot and like this used to have books in it, but now it's just like gaming stuff.
I
So
used to have a setup just like that with like behind me over there,
yeah.
and then like the shelf like was slowly falling apart because I had so much on it because it's like one of those like
Ooh.
Walmart shelves like with
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, and it fell. So I don't know if I want to tell you.
No, we need
Maybe
to
I
know.
want
You're
you
on
to
the
keep
spot
Yeah,
now.
we
wondering.
do. We
Are you a
do.
reader or are you not a reader?
Maybe I'll just grab a book and we'll no. No,
Oh,
so it's a tapestry. But doesn't it
Wait,
look
no.
so
wait.
realistic?
There's no
It does. I was
way.
like,
Yeah.
man, Shake reads a lot of
So
books.
it's a tapestry. It's not real books.
Hey,
There's
that's still
no
pretty cool. That's still pretty
Isn't
cool.
it? So
It doesn't take away from
yeah,
anything. I just was like, man, how do you do like running the pizzeria, streaming, playing off stream,
and
and
reading
read
books.
books?
I do have a lot of books. They're just over on that bookshelf.
Okay.
I so you've been in my stream over the years. So obviously
Yeah.
I started streaming. You didn't. I don't think you knew me when I started streaming off my PS4. But after that,
No.
I was streaming from my dining room table in the kitchen. Um, and then over the years, as you realize that you like streaming, that's when you slowly upgrade your setup. So then eventually I moved the living room into my little corner. I still didn't have all the nicest stuff, but now I'm in the corner of my living room. I have, a little bit of a nicer desk, a nicer setup. But I just didn't want a blank wall behind me.
Yeah.
And so I was looking up tapestries and I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So this is a tapestry from the library on Harry
Yeah.
Potter, the restricted section. And then I got these hanging lights.
A little
And then
pixie.
and then I got the Cornish Pixie. Just so it's like a Harry Potter theme behind me. But I've gotten several people that have asked me if those are actual books. And I'm like, wow. No,
It looks
it's
really
just,
realistic,
yeah,
even
Honestly,
on
that was
camera.
the furthest
right.
thing in my mind That was gonna
Yeah.
be your answer. I thought maybe it's gonna be like empty books at max. I did not
Yeah.
think it
Right?
was a
Like fake
tapestry.
books that I made. Nope, it's a tapestry hung up. Yeah.
That's
Nope.
crazy.
Isn't it?
That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
know. I was very happy with how real it looked. I was like, wow, it's real. So
I've never
no,
been catfished by books before.
by
Me
books.
either.
Catfished by
Now
books.
I know that's what I was like. I don't know if I want to tell you. I want to keep you guessing and make you think it's like real books, but no, they're just
Yeah, I wasn't sure where it was gonna go, and you're like, I'm just gonna check it out. Maybe I'll just grab a book. And
maybe I'll
then
just
when
grab a book. Just
I
kidding.
started seeing creases, and I was
Yeah,
like,
just a
that's pretty sick,
blanket. Yeah.
though. And so I know you said you started streaming like during COVID, like most of us did. That's kind of when I got into it.
Yeah. Yep.
So did you kind of hop on the Warzone train when you started streaming? I know you had already played COD before, but Warzone kind of did something special for a lot of people that weren't hardcore gamers or
Yeah.
that weren't putting in a lot of hours. So that's kind of like when I got on.
hmm
What were you playing at the time before you decided to stream, and what made Warzone kind of like your primary content at that time?
So when I first started streaming, I started streaming with a friend of mine. And that was just someone that like I played with every night. I still talk to her. She's in my chat, Mabel Pie.
Mhm.
And we played a lot of like those survival like we played the forest, raft, like those we would play Sims, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just chill games at night because um not saying that Warzone is not chill, but like for
Yeah.
me, working 10 to 12-hour days with kids who are like troubled and having to wear like a face mask. And then I also had to wear a protective shield. Plus the mask was KN95. Plus I had to wear gloves. Like they were like very like
oh,
hardcore. I just was exhausted at the end of the day. So all I wanted to do was chill and play like mindless games.
yeah,
Um,
comfort
so
games.
yeah, I not that like, and I love Call of Duty. I wasn't really, I guess, in the mood to like rage and like just put
Yeah.
effort into, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
started out with that. So I really got I got affiliate off of like Raft, The Forest, Sims, Stardew Valley, so
Oh,
stuff like that. And then after a while, meeting people over the course of 2020, I met Charmin, who I love dearly, and I play with my friend Killer, who I've known for, over 12 years. Um, I just started slowly, actually Joe Killer, he was like, "Hey, you should play this. This is kind of like what we used to play, with Blackout and back in the day." And I was like, okay. So he really was like, come play this with us. And then we slowly started getting people together, and it just became a thing where it was like, this is fun, like to be able to play a
yeah.
battle royale and to just play with our friends. And um, Verdansk definitely has that in my heart, like it does for a lot of people. And I do hope someday that they can bring something like that back, because it got me through the pandemic in a sense of like just memories, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Good memories rather than like the bad memories of like how hard work was at the time,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
how coming home I was just so tired. Like I think of the memory, like when I think of the pandemic, I think of playing Verdansk every single day and laughing and doing
Yeah.
stupid things with choppers and
Yeah, landing on
dropping
prison
at
every single
prison,
game.
or us with yeah, or us with Bridgie,
Yeah.
so like I think of stuff like that. So it's good to have those memories in such a tough time, instead of um you know the pandemic and how tired I was at work, I guess. Not to say I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
it's
oh, go ahead.
okay. Yeah. It sounds like to me you started streaming and playing games on stream as purely a fun thing. You know what I mean? Playing with friends, meeting people online, creating communities and stuff like that.
Yep.
Was there ever a point when you were streaming where you're like, I want to actually be a streamer? Or is it still just to have fun, to be involved in the gaming community and talk with people?
That's a good question. Um, so like as I was continuing to create content, like I realized like, hey, I'm doing really well and I'm working really hard And, I'm growing something here that I'm really proud of, not just on Twitch, but on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram, like on all of my stuff. And I was really proud of it. And um, I started transforming it into less of fun and more of a brand, if that makes sense. But I
No,
never wanted to
100%.
derive away from the reason why I started streaming, which was fun. Because I have gotten to that point before where it was, burned out, where, if it's no longer fun, you don't want to do it anymore. And I've seen so
Yeah.
many people give up streaming because of it, if whether it's, IRL stuff going on, just not enough time, but, um, don't ever give up streaming because you're not getting anywhere, or remember why you started, and I
Yeah.
always have to remember why I started. It was because I wanted to meet people. um I wanted to hang out with people and create something with other people. But I did get to a point where, and I still am at that point where I have this brand. And I've had Shakeinburger since 2008. It was my AIM name. It
Okay.
was my PlayStation 3 name. And when
Yeah.
when I had to create a name, I remember my friend, I created my PlayStation 3 name and they're like, "Why did you make it Shakeinburger?" And I was like, because it's my name, my last name's spelled differently." Like,
Yeah.
and they said to me, they go, "You're gonna get made fun of." And I was like, well, oh well, if I get made fun of, I get made fun of. And I did. But like I would never see myself as anything different.
Yeah.
So to me, like that, I've had that brand for so long and I have molded it into something with content creating. Um, since the pizzeria and how much time I've had to put into the pizzeria, um, I haven't been able to put in as much time into content creating as I would like. I don't regret it because we are doing so much with the pizzeria, and I am able to like incorporate both the
Yeah.
pizzeria and my like streaming together.
You
I
just did
haven't,
a pizzeria stream. Was it
yeah,
last week or the week before?
the
I
week
think.
before.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I'm trying to figure out how I can incorporate both worlds together and be able to do as much content creating and streaming as I can, with the pizzeria. Because there also is, um, you know, the scary side of revealing that I own a pizzeria and I don't want to divulge the location to
Right.
everybody or the name, or, a lot of people ask me, what's the name? And I'm like, I just ignore it. I'm like, because I don't
Yeah.
necessarily, there's some people that I do trust, but then there's other people I genuinely just don't know you, or I don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
And it's just not as much as we want it to be a safe space that we're streaming. And a lot
Yeah.
of people say that. It's just, unfortunately, it's not always the case. And so I haven't gotten to the point where I'm able to tie in both 100%. I'm trying. But that is my ultimate goal. That way I can continue to be less of like fun and more of like actual brand and business. It's just the pizzeria does come first. And so I have had to take time back from streaming. And so when I do get there someday and I can tie in both, um, hopefully that is my long-term goal right now. I mean, that's my ultimate goal, is to be able to tie in both. That way I can have the most time streaming, but also be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's an important thing too, because like, there's a lot of people that know our names. Like, I know your first and last name just because when
Right.
I started following you
And
on
I know
Twitter, that was your
yours.
first and last
Yeah,
name.
exactly.
Yeah. So like, that's definitely a big thing because you'll want to be able to be like, hey, come see me at
Right.
ABC Pizzeria,
Yeah.
but
And
there's weirdos out there, and
I think
I
when
mean,
we first started streaming, back in the pandemic,
yeah,
I think it was different.
yeah,
It was a different vibe. I guess, and not in a good, not that it's a bad vibe now, but like, um when we first all started streaming and getting together and hanging out, it was like, um just genuinely meeting people and building friendships and just meeting awesome people.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that that's not what it is now, but it's just like now it's more of like, okay, the pandemic's over, everybody's streaming, and you just got to be careful.
yeah,
Because now that we have been streaming for over 2 years, it's very much so like everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
And it's very much like it's just more known, I guess.
Right.
Pre-pandemic, like not a lot of people streamed as much as they do now on anything, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And so you just got to be careful now. It only took 2 years for streaming to blow up, and you just got to be careful now. That's all it is to it. I used to get follows in my stream, and I used to think they were, and maybe it was just me being naive. I just thought they were all genuine and kind. Now I get follows, and half of them are like weird, maybe, yeah, just like, hi, or not even hi, can I play with you today? And I'm like,
Hate that.
you didn't even say hello to me.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like a straight up follow. Can I play in your next game?
Yeah, that's weird. I will I ban people like that. Like whenever I'm like
Right,
modding, I'll be like, nope.
right. Followed. Are you playing with viewers today?
Yeah, that's so
I'm like,
weird.
you
It's
didn't
like,
even
are
ask
you a
say
viewer?
hello, or
Yeah.
like, hi, hi. Like,
Yeah.
can I
It is really
join?
weird.
Can I join? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, we
If
don't
you
know
follow
you.
me, I'll follow you. No
I
thanks.
think I think like you were saying about being a brand more than just being like a streamer. I think every streamer comes to that point where they realize that they're not just a streamer, they're a brand, and like you will have people come into your stream just to try to play with you or try to interact with you purely for your viewers or to gain that recognition that you already have, you know? And like I said, I think every streamer comes to that point where they realize like, yo, I'm not just me, I'm not just talking to my friends, like there's a bigger audience and bigger people that want to see my content. And you just got to change
Yeah.
the content and change how you do things based on that, you know? So,
Yeah.
Yep.
I know I kind of did the same thing also. Like we used to at the very beginning, we would play with like anybody, but it was just different. Like I think there was
It
definitely like
was.
a honeymoon phase that we were all experiencing all at the same time. And like I would play with anybody and we would end up meeting friends and things like that. But like once we started like doing it, like when it was what we do instead of just, a hobby,
yeah.
Right.
then you start encountering like the darker side and like
Yes.
people only wanting to be associated with you because you're doing, one, two, three things right.
Yes.
They can't do it on their own, so they tag along
Right.
with you. So we've been there.
Yes.
We know how that goes. Um,
Yes.
it's sad that like you can't just 100% trust everybody, but that's just kind of the way of the world. And I think like once the blanket of the pandemic came off, it was like we were
Yeah.
snapped like right back in
Yeah.
reality and started to see a
I
lot of
think
people
the
drop off.
easiest part for me is like I just remind myself it's not just with streaming, it's with life. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
$100%.
people will tr- use, I don't want to say use, but like they will see like every person, eh, what benefit, what can you benefit? What can I benefit from?
Yeah,
By being, and that's not just with streaming, that's with life. So
absolutely.
and you just can't let it get to you. There's always going to be people like that, and you can't assume either. Whether you think that's someone's intention or not, whether they're giving it off.
Yeah.
Like you can't assume. I just go with the flow.
Yeah,
Whether
absolutely.
they're doing that or not, like that's on them, not on you. You can't control. That's one of my quotes I tell everybody is like you cannot control anybody but yourself, and don't try
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So just control yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Just
You know.
be like optimistic but cautiously.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, relating to what you were saying about the brand and everything. So, how do you feel? Because I feel like the main problem with all this, like why people do this, is because the promotion machine on Twitch isn't really the best. If you're just on Twitch, like if you're not on Twitter or TikTok or YouTube or other social medias, like how do you feel seeing people saying like, oh, only got like 2 viewers on my stream today, or only gained this amount of subscribers, or nobody showed up to my stream? Like, how do you feel seeing people put out treats like that?
Honestly, I don't say anything. It could, and again, I don't know them, so
Yeah.
it could come from a form of, um, they're just genuinely sad. It could come form of a self pity, like they're doing this because like maybe if I do this, people will feel bad for me and they'll come through next time. It also comes from a place of like, well, did you put in the work?
Mm-hmm.
Did you just hit the go live button and expect people to just discover your stream? Because that's not a thing. Whether you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, or you're on Facebook gaming, like the discoverability is just not what it is. It's just not. And you can't just hit the go live button and expect people are going to be like, "Hey, on your stream, how's it going?" Especially when you first start streaming, from what that would sound like, and you only had 2 viewers. You have to put in the work, which is what we all did from day one,
Yeah.
which was building up, whether you want to say networking or just building up friendships, and supporting each other. Getting in those discords and seeing when other people are live, or seeing when other people are doing charity streams, or when they're supporting each other, when they're going live. It's checking in on others, not just like, well, only 2 people came by my stream. Well, did you put in the work? Did you engage on Twitter at all this week? Like, did you meet anybody this week? Did you ask anybody to play with you this week?
Yeah.
Like, did you post anything on Instagram? Even if you don't have an Instagram, like, fine, don't have an Instagram. But like, Twitter to me is like the best place for
You
like
100%.
have to have it.
streamers. Right.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to get somewhere, so like, if you see that kind of like, oh, like, it's like, well, you can't just hit the go live button and expect like everybody's going to do the work for you. Like, everybody's going to pop up and follow and support you. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not the way it is, especially like day one. Like, you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who are, I've had a lot of people IRL like come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I see you do that Twitch thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing it for a couple of years now." And they're like, "Yeah, I was thinking about doing that." I'm like, "You have no idea."
Yeah, you don't know what you're about to do.
You have no clue. And I'm just like, "Oh," I don't say anything, I'm just like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Yeah.
And that's how I leave it, because I'm not going to get into it, but I'm like, "You have no idea."
Yeah.
I'm
They
like,
have
"You
no
are
idea
going to
you're
hit
gonna
that
go
go
home.
live button, and 2 months from now, you're going to give up,
Yeah.
because you're going to hit that go live button, and your IRL friends and your mom is going to support you, and you're not going to get any growth because you think hitting the go live button is all you need to do, when it's not." I
Yeah.
mean, I literally, leading up to my stream today, I posted like 4 different things in my and Gigi's Discord. I was like, "Hey," I'm like, "what do we want to do on stream today?" I'm like, "Let's do a poll. Hey, reminder, guys, we're streaming on Sunday. Like, hey, can't wait to see you guys. I miss you guys." Like, engaging.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? What's
Yeah.
everybody doing today? Like, you can't just hit the go live button
Exactly.
if you want results.
Exactly.
If you're
Shit.
doing this for fun, then then people will show up at the time, and whatever. But
Yeah.
you got to put in the time.
Absolutely. And I think people forget the human factor, right? They just see like the number of people that are in there, and they forget that like those are actual like humans that are literally sitting in front of a screen, like
Right.
Mhm.
And
choosing
you
to
should
spend time with you.
appreciate one person,
Yep.
2 people, 10 people, 20 people, because like one person is giving you their time.
Absolutely.
And when you say stuff like only 2 people showed up,
It
like,
makes me not
well,
want to
then-
show up. You know,
right?
I
It's
don't want to
like,
show up now.
dang, like, what
Like
if
I did
was
show
one
up.
of those 2 people?
Yeah. I'd
like,
be like,
wow.
oh, that's crazy.
Right? Like, wow, yeah, I showed up. Like,
Exactly.
I think
My
there's a
bad.
certain I think there's a certain level of showmanship that is missing with Twitch. Like if there's not more than like 5 people in there, it's like you're gonna get the same monotone stream. Like if there's 1 person, 2 people, 3 people in my stream, you're gonna get the same exact me as you're gonna get if there's 10 or 15 people.
right?
Like you just have to like there's an expression that we were taught whenever I was working at Best Buy, like be on stage all the time, which is basically meaning like whether there's a customer in front of you or the store's empty, just be, just ready, prepared, always ready. And you have to be that same way. Like, because
Stream
what
like
if
nobody's watching is what I used to do a lot.
yeah, exactly. Yep. Like
Really?
the way that we are on stream is the same way that we played before we were even streaming. Like we're crazy wild individuals all the time. So when we do it on stream, it's effortless. It's just you have lights on and
Right.
cameras on.
If you
But
stream
other
like
than that-
nobody's watching you, how you are on stream and off stream, and so it's just kind of like, that's why I'm so weird.
Yeah, you pop into one of our streams, like you'll see us singing, you'll see us like freestyling. Sometimes we'll be doing
Listen,
some
I've accidentally
hooligan
come in
stuff.
on your Yu-Gi-Oh nights, okay? I'm like, oh, sorry. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. I think I think the biggest part of it, and it's really hard to like train the mindsets of people that are
Yeah.
doing it for fun, but they really just want to be big.
Yeah.
Right.
And they won't just say they want to be big. Like, oh man, I'm
Right.
trying to do it for fun, but then they'll complain
They're
about it
doing
later.
it for
Because
fun, but deep down, there's that what if? What if
yeah,
Yeah.
I
they
could
really
be
want to be Nick
the
Merckx.
next Nick Merckx? Exactly. And it's
Yeah,
like, but they forget it's like Nick Merckx has been streaming for almost 13 years,
yeah,
you know? And I'm like, and Nick
Yeah.
Merckx started streaming when like nobody like really even knew about streaming. Like streaming was very small compared to what it is now, you
yeah,
know? So it's like to be the next Nick Merckx, I'm like, slow your roll,
Yeah.
you
Take
know?
your
Like,
time.
exactly.
Take your
like
time.
I get it. Like to say you're doing this for fun, but having that what if, I think everybody has that, you know,
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
that's okay. It's okay to have goals and to be driven and to have dreams, you know, that's
Yeah,
okay. But at the same time, like to have that sort of negative um view or mindset or just to be negative, that's not going to drive people to want to support you or to even come in. Like it's just going to feel like people are going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
um
exactly.
yeah.
It's
you
not an
know,
inviting way to get people to watch your stream.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Don't
Exactly.
force viewership via a negative avenue.
yeah,
Like,
Right.
because people won't
Like,
have fun watching you because they feel like they're forced to watch you because you said these
yeah.
things, you know?
right.
Like I've had that before in the past with people saying that it's not a good look, you
Right.
know?
Like I've seen do two different things. I've seen the I think I'm gonna give up, you know, I don't know what to do anymore. You know, I only had two people show up. I've seen that where, you know, they just hit the go live button. And then I've also seen it where people have put in countless time and effort, not only into the content creating,
Hmm.
their overlays, you know, their about me on Twitch, their Twitter, you know, their engagement. I've seen that also. Um, so it's not just like you got to put in the effort, not just hit the go
Yeah.
live.
There's a
Because
little luck too.
I have seen people hit the go live button, but also put in the effort and just not get the results they're looking at.
Yeah.
So it is tough.
Yeah,
And I've been
100%.
there too, where it's like, am I doing something wrong? Do people not like, and then you start to self doubt. Do people not like me? Am I weird? Am I just not likable person? So
Yeah.
you have to figure out why you're streaming. Are you
Yeah.
doing it for you or are you doing it for other people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
And
see
sometimes you can be, oh,
Oh,
good.
I'm sorry. Well, I think you see, like, if you ask a lot of the big streamers and bigger content creators, like, how they made it, like, almost all of them will say, like, yeah, I worked hard, but there's an aspect of luck in there. You know, there's always a
Yeah.
little bit of luck. You know, like,
Yep.
for every big streamers, there's like 100 smaller, thousands of smaller creators that have the same
Yep.
type of stream, same personality, same, like, quality of stream, but they just don't make it because they weren't lucky. You know, that's
Right.
like the hardest thing to accept in this
Yeah.
industry or in any content creation industry.
Right.
That's a big aspect of luck to it, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's hard work and luck. 'Cause there's an expression, I've never forgotten it. Someone once said that luck is when opportunity and preparation come together. So
Yes.
if that fortune happens so to hit you, you've got to already be in that place where you're putting in the work,
Yep.
because if you just happen so to get rated by 40,000, 50,000 people, but you're getting a two-person viewership type of stream where you're not
Yeah.
treating it like it's an event
And
and people are
negative
there
and
hanging
you're
out with you,
sad and
you'll
yeah.
blow it. You'll blow it.
Yeah.
And so
Or
you
even
have to always be ready as if like the next most influential person in your life is going to be there every single stream. Like
Yep.
you have to be ready.
Yeah.
or even if someone does rate you with that 40,000 person stream and they like your personality and like your stream and they want to find more of you, but it's like you have no content outside of Twitch. You have no YouTube
Exactly.
videos.
Yeah.
You have nothing on Twitter. They
Exactly.
can't find anything about you. So they may like you, but you haven't given them anything to continue liking you, you know? You gotta keep putting
Exactly.
stuff out, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for a while I saw like in the pandemic, like with Verdansk, like Symphony would rate a lot of people, especially
Mhm.
people around me, like, and he'd rate them with like 3,000, 4,000 people, which that's a
A
lot.
lot. Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and what if Symphony really liked someone he rated and was like, I want to play games with him? What if, like, I don't think Symphony's going to whisper someone on Twitch.
Yeah, I
No,
don't think
no.
so.
Maybe, but like, you know, he might be looking for like more of like a Twitter DM or a Discord DM.
Yeah.
So like, y- to be the most successful, you got to be, and I was told this years ago when I was in Premiere, and I took it seriously. It's like, if you want to be the most successful you can, you've got to be on all social platforms. And this was before I didn't have a TikTok, and I hate TikTok still. I didn't have a TikTok, and I always said, I was like, I am not getting a TikTok. I'm like, I hate TikTok, hate it.
Still in that boat. I haven't made the
I got
switch
it.
yet.
Yeah, I got a TikTok. I just, it's true. If you want to be discoverable, you've got to be on all platforms. Because, if I'm just hitting the go live button, I'm like, all right, guys, I'll see you Tuesday. People may not remember. Like, I have to have places where I can remind people about my stream schedule. Like on YouTube, when I post clips, I have my stream schedule. Instagram, stream schedule. Twitter, my stream schedule is literally pinned on a tweet. Discord, stream schedule. You want to have all of your other socials channeling to the main
Main thing.
place, which is
Yeah.
Twitch. And as much as I hate, socials in general, it's very true that you want to be the most discoverable, you've got to be on everything.
Hmm.
Yeah, that
I
makes a
do
lot
hate
of
them.
sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
changing gears.
I
a
always
little
say
bit.
that.
Oh,
Oh,
my,
go ahead.
no. Say what you're gonna say.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I always like to say, like, doing your TikToks, doing your YouTube shorts, posting your clips on Twitter, those are all like commercials to like the show. So if you're not running those commercials, like, how do we know that we want to go to Applebee's one night or
Yeah.
Olive Garden or wherever you like to eat? Because they're constantly throwing it in your face. So
Yep.
you
And
kind
you're
of have
like,
to do
oh,
the
this
same
looks
thing.
good.
Yeah.
Yep,
You're like, man, I
literally.
don't even like lobster, but I kind of want lobster tonight. Like you have to kind of
Literally.
like force it, like in a sense.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people are willing to do that. But
Yep.
I think you definitely got to figure
And
it out.
that's what it is. It's putting in the work.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I get people don't have time. It's a lot of work, but you can't be upset if you just hit the go live button and after time and you have the same 2 viewers and then you post a tweet that you get upset. It's like, did you create clips? Did you post them on YouTube? Did you post them on Instagram Reels? Did you post them on TikTok? Did you post them on Twitter? Like, the
Yeah.
people, you're not discoverable, or people won't come to your stream unless they know about you. And then that's all there
100%.
is to it. And it's not a sense of like whether people like your streams or not. They may just not know about it.
Yeah.
If you, especially if you only have 2 viewers, or they may just not know that you're live. You've got to make it
Absolutely.
known. So
Yeah.
So as far as streaming, like when you first got started, were you like telling your family, or did it just kind of start with you just kind of connecting with people online? Like, what was your journey to kind of expanding your viewing audience? Because like I don't know if Josh tells his family exactly what he does or whatever, but like I literally like have no IRL family that like stops into my stream. Like it's just not a thing.
I don't
we talk
either.
about. Yeah.
Nope,
Okay.
I don't either. So like my dad had a flip phone up until like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. we got him an iPhone for Christmas.
Okay.
It'll be 2 years this Christmas. So it's been like a year and like 10 months.
Let's
He had a
go.
flip phone before then. He's not good with technology. And then I mean, they know that I stream.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in like a mean way, but to them it's kind of like a joke.
No, fair
And not in a mean way. Like they
Yeah.
support
No.
what I do, and it's just out of like they don't know, like they don't understand, and so they know I get on a camera and I play video games, and the way they think about it, they're like, do you get on a camera and you play video games and you talk with random people? Like, well, when you put it like that, I mean, gee, mom. I'm like, but
Suppose.
yeah, I guess. So like, I mean, no, they don't come in, but they also like don't know how. Like
Yeah,
they
fair
don't
enough.
have Twitch accounts or anything. So, but I also think it's probably better that way because
Yeah.
like they would just be in like embarrassing me and stuff. So, but no, I don't have any, like, I have some IRL friends, no
Yeah.
family. I do have some friends come in, and support me and stuff, but no family. And they do know about this. Like I said, it's just, I think, a lack of like really understanding what it's about. Like if I told them I was doing the POS podcast today. They'd be like, what? Like,
Yeah. No way.
I'd be like, Dad, a podcast. Like, we talked about streaming and stuff. And he'd just be like, cool. Like out of support, but
Yeah.
lack of really knowing what I'm talking about. I'd be like, all right, Dad.
Like,
Yeah.
he'd be like, all right, well, have
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
one.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is kind of like, I don't think it's unintentional like exclusion. Like Jordan J Man is like my actual brother,
Yes.
so of course he
Yes.
knows. And I have like friends that know about it, but I don't remember how they know. I don't think I just like dropped it on them.
Like, hey, guys,
And
I'm streaming.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never like on my Facebook or Snapchat or anything like that. They just know, and I don't have
Huh.
any of that. I think the guys that work for me, at least one or two know. And I think it's because I was like showing them a clip, and of course they had like Twitch be the king, and they're like, "Oh, you stream?" I was
Oh,
like,
you're streaming?
yeah.
You're like, yeah.
But we don't talk about it. Like we just don't talk about it. It's not like no, we don't talk about that at work. It's just like everything at work is just so funny that like the last thing I'm thinking about is like our stream
Streaming.
is
Right. Right.
crazy. But yeah, I was always curious. I always wonder that with people like whose family is like in their stream hanging out with them, and
Right.
I think
who
that's
doesn't
sick
tell their
though.
family.
For people who do have family that understand that stuff, I think
Yeah.
that's sick for them to be in the chat. Like for me, I'm more
Yeah.
on the side of like I won't tell people what specifically I'm doing. Like I'll tell my mom like I told my mom like an hour ago like, oh, I'm recording. Try not to be too loud. I'll just record.
Oh, you told your mom?
No,
not to
no,
be
no,
too
no,
loud?
no, not like that though. Not like that.
Mom,
Not
get
like
down.
that.
he said, "Mom, can't you see I'm with my friends right now?"
Right. Mom,
Nah.
I'm with my friends. Can you keep it down, please?
You remember the last time I threw something at you? I'll do it again.
No, because my mom does like kind of understand like the technology type stuff. So I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Mom, I'm recording." So like, my microphone picks up a lot of stuff. Like, don't be too loud. That's all. I'm not being like rude about it, obviously.
I just had to give
Obviously.
you a hard time. He tells me. She
But
tells
I'm
me
never
you're
gonna.
mean.
I never told him like, "Oh, I run this clan. I do this. I make content this and this."
Yeah.
I'm more the type of person like I'll tell you once I'm like quote unquote there. You know what I mean? Like once I
Right.
made it. And
Right.
I'm not gonna say we made it now or we made it down the line, but whenever we make it, then I'll tell someone.
Right.
Or you can
Yeah.
see it yourself. You can search it up yourself. Like
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
you can do. But I wanted to ask you, Shake. For me personally, I feel like one of the biggest aspects of being a successful streamer, a streamer that has people coming to their content, is showing your personality in your streams. So how do you specifically show your personality in your streams?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like showing your personality is just being yourself. You just can't come off too like, I come into some streams and it's like, I don't want to be like, how do I like, you just come into some, oh my gosh, hi, welcome, and it's like, I don't know. You just got to be yourself, and that will show your personality in its own.
Yeah.
Whether it's cracking jokes or being weird or the way your stream setup is, your stream setup can show a lot of your personality. Whether it's light colors and, organized, or dragons, or,
Yeah.
Or fake books.
Fake books. Yeah, exactly. So like you can not only show your personality by streaming, but like, when you come into a stream, what you have set up, whether it's like specific figures, in the background, people can get off like what games you play and stuff, whether, you like FPS games or, MMOs and stuff like that. But I think it's just be yourself. And honestly, like if someone likes you in the stream, they'll stay. And if it's like they don't force them.
Yeah.
Don't force it by being something you're not. Because you're gonna get tired of acting like something you're not. It's gonna be tiresome, and then you're gonna be like, I don't want to stream today.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna get to the point like when you're off stream, you're not that same person you are on stream. And like
Yeah.
to me, I talk with people off stream, the same people I do on stream. And like if you're not acting the same, like that's weird. So like
Yeah.
just be yourself. Let your personality show for itself, and if people don't like you for you, like that's okay. Like you can't please everybody in the world. Like that's just what it is,
Yeah.
people aren't gonna like me, and that's okay. Um, you
Yeah,
just
exactly.
oh
You have
well,
to also be like willing to accept that people can like you and support you and not necessarily enjoy your content. Like
right,
100%. Like there's probably people that I love and talk to on Twitter, Discord, other socials all the time, but like if they don't play the same games, like I
right,
may only be able to lurk in their stream and support them. And I still might engage with them other ways, but
right,
you can't expect everyone to 100% want to watch you play exactly what you're playing
right,
in that moment. Because especially like there's streamers that only play like one game and one game only.
right,
And for me, that can be hard, especially if it's like same repetitive game and you've played it 5 times a week. And I'm in a spot where I don't like that game or something like that. Like
yeah,
you have to be okay knowing that not everyone's going to be there every single time just because they like you. They're
right,
not obligated to. Because I'd rather meet new people like that come from the other socials that know me because of like the stream and everything else, not because like we're both streamers together and we knew
right,
each other. Like it's going to be more organic that way, winning someone over versus having the relationship and trying to force them to be there, with
exactly,
you just because you already know them or something.
right,
It's
exactly.
you have to find that balance.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So changing gears a little bit. So you
What?
Okay.
mentioned that you own a pizzeria, and I feel like this is a big part
I
of your
do.
stream already. Like most of your stream chat knows you own a pizzeria, of course. So I wanted to ask, what are the craziest stories that have happened inside the pizzeria? Do you have any?
Oh, there's got to be
There
some.
gotta be a couple. New York, like
Yeah, there's
gotta be
no
a
way
couple.
that there's not.
Oh wow. Um, so
She's thinking. She's thinking of a few. She got a few.
um, so like recently there's some I can think of. I've and these aren't so like oh, where do I begin?
Oh,
Um,
this is gonna be a
I
good
had a
story.
phone call. It was probably about a month ago. Here's one. I had a phone call about a month ago, and I thought it was someone on here trolling me. It wasn't. They said that they used to live in New York, and they moved to Utah, and they were wondering if I could ship them a calzone, because they don't have New York like style calzones in Utah anymore. I was like, so did you live in like my hometown? Like, did you used to come here? No, I just searched New York style pizza and I came up. Like it wasn't even like it was like someone who we used to know who moved out there or someone from our town
Yeah.
that moved out there. It was some
Mhm.
random person who just searched New York style pizza and like we came up and so she called me asking if I would ship her a calzone to Utah. I just was like, I'm sorry, I don't ship food at this time. She was really
Yeah.
bummed out. She's like, even if I pay for the shipping, I was like, no, like I don't.
Man, did you not hear what I said?
No.
She said, "I
Um,
paid the $5 for the box and shipping." You know.
I was like, no. So that was, and then within like the same day, I have this one lady who comes in. She always asks me for strawberries or a strawberry milkshake. And I'm like, she'll literally walk up to me. You have any strawberries? I'm like, no. Do you have
We
strawberry
make
anything
pizzas.
strawberry milkshake? I'm like, no. I had one guy, oh, it's probably about 6 months now. He comes in, but we didn't even realize he was still coming in because like we didn't recognize him, and he's been fine since then. So we closed at the time. We
There's
closed
more
it.
to that.
Yeah, we closed. We closed at 8 p.m. It was like 7:58. Do you think I'm gonna have slices ready? No, because we're closing in 2 minutes. So he
Yeah.
walked in, and I was like, "Hi," and he like went like this. He's like, and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "We don't have anything." I'm like, "Because we close in 2 minutes." I'm like, "I could make you something." So, he just turned around and walked out. And on his way out, he turned around and flipped me off. And I was just sitting at the register, and I just was like this. I go, and I like looked over at our camera because I knew, and I was like, and Chris was right there talking to a couple, and Chris got upset. And then this guy and Chris were like yelling at each other, and he's proceeding to walk across the crosswalk, still yelling. Oh, that was so he just because I didn't have slices 2 minutes before close,
Yeah.
and then I just looked at the camera. I was like,
There's there's definitely a point as a consumer where you have to be reasonable, right? Like
yeah.
sure the business hours are technically open and you were willing to make them food, but like, there's no way
And it's not
that
like
one.
I didn't throw anything out. It's just
Yeah,
we got cleaned out and I'm like, I'm not gonna make a slice 7 minutes before close. That's when we got
right.
cleaned out, was 7 minutes. I'm just not,
Yeah, that's a
it's
waste of materials.
financially not smart for me
Hmm.
Yeah,
to make an extra large pizza when we're closing in 7 minutes. And it's like, what are the chances of someone walking in to buy an entire pizza or even one slice and I'm throwing out the other six
yeah.
or five, you know? So I will make you something, no problem, sir. And it would take 7 minutes, you know? Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, like I said, I've worked at that pizzeria for a long time, even before I bought it. So I have so many. I mean, when I worked there, I mean, one of my coworkers back in the day hid my car across the street and just put a bunch of gum in it. Like he like literally opened up probably 50 packs of, remember the old key lime pie gum?
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
He opened probably 50 packs and just threw a bunch of key lime pie gum in my car and put my car across, because we used to just put our car keys out back. Took my
yeah.
car keys, parked my car across the street, and put a bunch of gum wrappers and gum all in my car.
Like maliciously or like as a
As a
prank?
No,
prank?
as a prank,
Oh, okay.
but I still was
I was
like,
gonna be like, go get his
where
address.
is
We'll
my
take care of it.
car? And then I'm like, yeah, I drove like a Ford Taurus at the time. And I was like, please do not touch my car.
Yeah.
When back in the day, so my old boss had some ice cream guy selling ice cream out of the corner of the pizzeria. And then like after a while, when the ice cream guy, we didn't know his name, so we called him ice cream guy.
Okay.
When he realized he wasn't getting a lot of business, like because he didn't like advertise and like he was inside of a pizzeria, not like
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of was just like, you guys can run the ice cream stand. And we're like,
No.
what? So the same kid that, hid my car, we would just throw him on the ice cream stand and be like, here, go sell ice cream. Well, one of the ice creams was a wine ice cream
Oh.
that he left in there. And here I am like 16, 17 years old. And so he was 18 at the time. And we're all just chilling, like eating all the wine ice cream at the beach. This is back in like 2012.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a lot
Like
of,
legit alcohol in there?
yeah. Yep.
Jeez.
And he just left it
Sounds
there.
like an
And
untapped market.
yeah. Yep. Yep. And he just left it there. And we were like, okay.
Yeah.
So, no,
Did he ever
there's,
question like, why am I missing $30 worth of ice cream?
no, he just figured he sold it, even though like he genuinely like came and checked in on his ice cream stand like once a week,
Really?
if that. So yeah, he just figured it was sold and we put the money like in our register. So we were like, okay.
You got
Yeah.
a bootleg ice cream stand at some random person's pizzeria.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Right.
That kind of
Like,
goes back to the putting in the effort thing. Like,
Right.
Honestly, you gotta
Right.
admit that guy
He
was
wanted
putting
to
in
do that.
effort, though.
I was like a kid in high school and I'm just like, what do we do with this ice cream? Like, they didn't even like train us. We're like, how do we sell it? Like, what, like
Yeah.
small, medium, like, it was just so funny. It was just like, we're like, okay, we have an ice cream stand.
Do you guys
like-
think you're the only ones he did that to? Do you think he went to like the other pizzerias around the block and had a
I feel
whole
like it's a
pizza?
weird mix.
I don't know.
He probably had a
I
whole
have-
business going.
it was summertime. That's the only reason why I was like, okay, so he's doing it. But like, I don't know. That's one thing that sticks with me with the pizzeria. And there's a couple other things that I won't share on here. I'll share with you guys after.
You gotta know.
So many memories. And then it's just so funny that's like, I cannot believe that I own this place where it like molded my childhood, working with
Yeah.
so many of these like people and all these memories. I'm like, and now I'm walking around in the same place I never thought I would be back. Like,
Yeah.
just where I learned to make pizzas and wings and stuff. It's just crazy. Like, oh, yeah. But no, it's cool. It's cool.
Now,
So-
did the owner that you guys purchased it from, was it the same one that employed you when you were a kid?
It was his son-in-law. So
Oh,
my
okay.
original boss owned it for 35 years. He owned two others in other towns. He sold those like 20 years ago. And then he stuck with this one. He was originally going to sell it to Chris back in like 2014, and he decided not to. Decided just to keep it. And then he ended up selling it to his son-in-law in 2019, which for any like restaurant or business owners, the pandemic was like because like everything was shut down, all you could do was takeout. So like takeout was like huge during the pandemic. So like he potentially could have made a lot during the pandemic. He just didn't care. He didn't want it, and he didn't realize how much effort actually needs to go into a business in order for it to be successful. Like you have to work a lot.
Yeah.
You have to like be on socials. Like again, we have socials for our pizzeria. You have to be engaging. You have to be posting pictures. Like, ooh, this like kind of like what you said about like Applebee's and stuff. Like you have to post pictures of food so people are like, ooh, this looks good. So people will show up.
Yeah.
So I don't think he realized how much effort actually goes into that, and he just didn't want to do that, and he just didn't want to put any money into it at all either. So after like a year and a half, he put it up for sale, and he was asking a crazy price, and so Chris and I were like, let's check it out, and so we were like, we're not paying this, we will pay this for
Yeah.
what you've done to the place.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So I bought it. I know him. But no, it was not my original boss. I wish it was, but
It had to feel great though,
no.
buying that pizzeria, knowing that you worked there for so long, and then now it's yours.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
now we're like putting it back to the way it should be. Because it was caring not only with pizzeria, but also with I've learned a lot from the pizzeria, and I brought it over to my streaming. Caring about your business, it shows. And if you don't care, it's going to show, and people aren't going to support you.
Right.
Is what and that goes on like a display type. I mean, we redid the whole out front where people sit and stuff. Because it was very just not. They didn't keep it nice, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to sit here and eat food, or
Yeah.
order food from this. So we remodeled the whole out front, and so I was like, as a business, like you do want to look nice and be professional and act nice. And I've learned a lot from the pizzeria and brought it over to streaming as well, and which has helped a lot for sure.
So, do you
So
think that you have a greater passion for streaming or for your pizzeria? Or is it not something that you think you could compare to each other?
I have a greater passion for streaming.
Okay.
100%,
Okay.
100%. And it's not that I don't love the pizzeria. Um, Chris and I recently were talking, we're looking to buy a house and stuff. Eventually, I've been in this condo for 8 years, and just with talking with finances and stuff, he in streaming and working more at the pizzeria. He works all day, every day, and he loves it. And I'm like, you're weird. But but I'm like, but this is what he loves, and he's always wanted to
Yeah.
have his own pizzeria since I've known him since 2010, and this is always what he's wanted. So he loves it, and I'm like, having a conversation of I may have to work a lot more just so we can afford, where we want to be in life. And it's like, I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but it's just like, um, he said like, I don't want you to resent the pizzeria or hate being here. And it's like, it's not that I won't. It's like, it's just I need to find time for streaming, because that's
Your true passion.
yeah, and so that's when I was like, if I can combine the both, maybe that would be good. It's just it's hard,
Yeah.
I really feel there's not enough time for everything that we need to get done. But no, I mean, I would say he is the pizza lover. And I support him with everything in our business. I am definitely the content creator. If I could, I would make pizzas and create content about it for us. If I had enough time to create content about my channel and create content about, the pizzeria. If I had time, I would do both in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And build, if I had time to build our socials on all aspects, I would. It's just, unfortunately, I had to pick one or the other, and I'm like, fine, I'm building this, and then I'll work and make pizzas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe
I
down
get
the
that.
line, I'll be able to, I would love to have like a TikTok of just pizza, and doing different
bet
stuff at
you
the
could make it
pizzeria,
pop.
it's
You could
the
make it happen.
timing. I don't have
Yeah.
time, and I can't do it on my own TikTok just because it's weird to have Warzone, Fortnite, pizza. It's just not
Pepperoni.
pepperoni. Yeah. So, maybe someday. Again, these are all goals. But no, I definitely my passion for content creating is much more than. Sorry, don't tell Chris I said that.
Speaking of
No, we
content
appreciate the
creation,
honesty though.
Hmm?
Like some people would have been like, "Oh, as much as I love streaming, I've got to do this first." And
yeah,
like, I felt like that was a genuine answer. You didn't have to think about it.
Oh
It was
no,
100% genuine.
I love streaming.
yeah,
It's just you do stuff has to come first, but that doesn't mean
Yeah,
I don't love this more. I mean, I
yeah,
do. I mean,
absolutely.
we all love streaming, but we have to work. You
yeah,
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
exactly.
it is what it is.
You could tell that
You know,
you thought that out before, which is good. Like you should, like, to anybody who's streaming or creating content, you should always like think about these questions in your mind and like think that out before like doing anything, you know? So
yep,
because it influences all the content that you make. Because you don't
yep,
want to be making content if you're not really gonna want to make content in 5 to 10 years, you know?
yep,
Because
Yeah.
it's a long game. People think it's a
yep.
short game, it's not a
Mhm.
short game. It's not a 1 to 2 year
No,
game. It's a long game, you know?
it is. Oh,
um,
it is.
but speaking of content creation, obviously the podcast for POS, this is a new thing we're doing. Do you think you have any new types of content that you want to create, whether that be on a different platform or a different style of video or different style of content?
I don't know. I've been having a content crisis for a little while. I think a lot of it is because um Warzone is just not what it used to be. And so like when you mainly stream Warzone and then you're just streaming Warzone. Oh, you guys are back. Streaming Warzone and streaming Warzone and streaming Warzone. Um, i- it's just not what it used to be. And then
Yeah.
I tried to get into Apex and I tried. I've been playing Fortnite. When you identify yourself as an FPS streamer
Yeah,
player, you have to keep that in mind that like they won't be around forever.
Right.
They're gonna eventually um new games are gonna come out because that's what the market is, right? New games, they
Yeah.
have to make money, this and that. And so the content's gonna have to change. And that's with everything. But it's been hard lately just because I loved Warzone so much, like with Verdansk. It was so easy just to be like, we're dropping into Verdansk today,
yeah,
versus like, I gotta go live today, but like, I don't want to play Fortune Escape today because
Yeah.
it's just so sweaty, So it's like, do I play Fortnite? Which I've been liking. It's just not.
it
I
doesn't
guess we're
scratch
all
that
craving
itch.
that. We're
Yeah.
not. We're all craving that Verdansk vibe again.
Yeah.
Um, and so for me, it's like I guess I've been like trying to explore other app. Like I did the COD campaign the other day, and it was nice. It's just not the same. And so
Yeah.
when the new Call of Duty comes out, I'm gonna step my foot back into multiplayer. And I'm gonna see how that goes. I used to play multiplayer back in the day, like way before streaming. Like I used to do hardcore TDM and search and destroy, demolition, and that's all I used to do all day, every day was
Yeah.
We gotta
hardcore
squad up then.
modes.
We gotta
Yeah,
squad
I
That's
up
need
all
and
I
to
get
used
see
to
it.
Modern
I've
do.
Warfare.
only ever played Warzone with you, but never like multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
That's all I used to
we gotta
do
make that
was
happen.
multiplayer. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, all the Black Ops. Like every year when a Call of Duty would come out, I have my squad. And that's all we did was multiplayer. Mostly hardcore team deathmatch. But when like the clan wars were coming out, like especially in Call of Duty Ghosts with the clan wars,
Yeah,
we used to run like demolition and search and destroy just to like hold those positions. I love search and destroy, but like the
oh
Yeah.
team I used to roll with back in the day, they were a lot of like like I don't want to say elderly, but like they were like 50-year-olds,
yeah,
and so
Yeah.
like they just were not like what they wanted. Once they were dead, they were dead. They didn't want that. They wanted to keep playing. So like TDM was what we really played.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
what's super
but
big on S&D? Super big on
Yeah.
S&D.
I love search and destroy. Langer and I are trying to get a search and destroy. Not necessarily a group, but just find people to play with because like he's
Yeah.
also going to be playing search and destroy when it comes out. So we're really excited about that. We were doing some with when the beta came out, and we were enjoying it. So, but again, it's like I think because we remember the Call of Duties back in the day and how much fun we had, we have such high expectations.
Yeah.
For like if it doesn't hit this, like I remember like Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, like Modern Warfare 2 was like hands down to me the best Call of Duty there was. And you think of the multiplayer back then, and like, yeah, the graphics you didn't realize how bad they were. compared to now. But
Right.
like, it was just, you had your squad, you were just playing, you could get your nuke, you were just chilling on terminal or favela, and it's just like, that was just where it was at. Or Modern Warfare 3. And it's like, I think we just have such high expectations for video games. Not saying that, we shouldn't, but
Yeah.
um, you know, so I think that's where I'm gonna try and turn my content is multiplayer with some of the new Warzone, but I definitely want to get back into uh multiplayer. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So
So, are you anticipating Warzone 2? Like, what's your feeling on it? Because I think a lot of people are going like one of two ways. They're either gonna like run Modern Warfare 2, and then the alternative seems to be like Overwatch of all games is like kind of hot right
I think
now.
that's gonna die out
I
soon.
saw that.
Yeah. We were just talking about that before you got on, like how we feel like it's gonna die because we were trying to figure out like we're content creators too, like where our priorities are gonna be, like
Yeah.
Right,
from
like
a
exactly.
display standpoint, and like I was like, dude, all these things are coming out. Like, if we're gonna do these, we got to make sure we get this on point and this on point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Overwatch is gonna die because
Yeah.
like by the time they
Overwatch
were
has
trying to
never
like,
interested me. I don't know
yeah,
why.
I always
it would
liked
give me
it.
anxiety. I feel like there's just
Yeah.
so much visually going on. Like, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't
It's like
do it.
Overwatch and Valorant. I had a hard time.
Val is it's a weird transition. Like, so
I guess
I'm
the mouse and keyboard only thing kind of like freaked me out because I've always been
yeah,
on controller and I was like, wait, I don't have an option. I was like,
yeah.
kind of freaking me out. And so I never gave it a
Yeah.
choice or like never gave it a try either. So
I think
Yeah,
Valorant's
for
a good game
someone.
to learn that though, because that's how I learned mouse and
true,
keyboard.
true.
It trained my aim. It trained me just learning the keys on the keyboard. It's definitely a great game to learn keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Very true.
But
It's
Brian,
Yeah.
definitely
what
one of those games where it comes down to like who's got, I don't want to say the best aim, but it's a combination of the best aim and the best responsiveness. Because like my play style with how I play is so much focused on let me catch him off guard or like my movement is going to save me. And I didn't have that option in Val. So like if I saw a guy and he was in front of me, if I was not legitimately better than him, he was going to win every time. Where you
Right.
can finesse a great player any day of the week in Call of Duty.
In
Like
Call of Duty.
it's
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
Val, it exposes you, and I got exposed.
I got
I got exposed
exposed.
because you literally have to like stand still to shoot the person. Like I
Yeah.
can't like try to run, slide cancel, and then like jump on you and then like drop on you and kill you. Like
Right.
it's
Right.
just not an option. You have to just pew pew whenever the
Yep.
opportunity comes.
Yep.
But yeah, I kind of look forward to seeing what you end up doing next as well. Like, because I'd love to see Shakeinburger and Langer and even Sharman dropping on Search and Destroy, and maybe
Right?
even
Fire.
potentially
That would
going
be
against
fire.
you guys. Like,
Oh
I
my
would love to see
gosh.
that.
That would
You
be
know how
so
Sharman and I
cool.
have
I
like
would
a
love
rivalry
that.
of like all the time.
Always.
But my
Always.
COD like gameplay is like decreased, so I haven't like talked any smack to him like in the last year. But when Modern
I
Warfare
think
2
everybody's
drops,
COD is decreased.
yeah, I'm
So
gonna start randomly tagging him on Twitter coming up soon.
like, are we ready?
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
But I have two questions. The first question was, so you were talking about how like your favorite Call of Duty was Modern Warfare. You said 3, right?
It's a toss between 2 and 3. I would probably say I had more time in 3.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because I was older or I'd probably go 3.
So I was gonna ask, do you think that that's your favorite Call of Duty, or you enjoyed COD the most at that time because of
Ooh,
where
that's a
you
good
were
question.
at in your life? Because when I look back on like my gaming experiences, my favorite, like the most amount of fun I ever had gaming was when Fortnite originally came out. That's when I met
Mhm.
J-Man. That's when I met like a couple other friends that we used to play with every day. And when I think about it, yeah, the game was fun. I was good at the game, but it really was just the
Right.
vibes and the people and the time that we spent together.
That's a good question.
So do you think it was just that point of your life?
I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both. So the game does distinctively stick out to me. Because it's not that I didn't like the Blackout series. I enjoyed like Blackout or Black Ops, excuse me, 1 and 2. And then you started getting into like the futuristic stuff, and it was kind of a turn off to me.
Yeah.
The game itself sticks out to me, and I really enjoyed the graphics more, and I enjoyed the guns, and the maps. But I guess the vibes, I had the same vibes from Modern Warfare 2 all the way to Ghost. with the same exact people. Um, so I guess the only difference would be whether I was in high school versus college. Um, I was still just sitting playing video games
Yeah.
after school, you know? So like I don't the vibes were definitely there, but I guess it would be more of the game and then the vibes were always the same throughout the entirety of the time because I always had my same, group of people. I would say Modern Warfare 2, it was a slightly different group. Um, Killer, Destiny, and we had a different group, and they were a lot of family members, a lot of cousins, and I guess there was like a IRL fight within the family, and so they like stopped playing, and then Killer and I were
Damn.
just like, where'd everybody go? Like it was before like a lot of socials and stuff. You were just literally got on PlayStation 3, and whoever was on, you played with them. So
Yeah.
like we were like, where did everybody go? Like we're like nobody's on, and eventually we would add each other on Facebook, but then we found out what happened, so we had nowhere to go, and then we found our, you know, clan from there on out, who I still talk to this day. I mean, they were coming in my chat today saying happy birthday, 12 years
Very
later.
cool.
So yeah, so um, the vibes were always the same. We always were looking forward to the same game, playing together every night. Yeah, I don't, you guys know, Report Me Please. He's always in my chat. I've known him
Yeah.
since he was 12 years old. He was in my
Oh wow.
original. Yep. He was in the original. He was the nephew of our original group. So
Sick.
I've known him for 13 years. So yeah, it's I would say it is more of the game, but the vibes are something that I definitely
Yeah.
remember within the game itself that made it so good for sure.
I wish I,
So
speaking of what you were just saying, I wish I had that experience of like playing with someone when I first started gaming that was younger than me and then just watching them grow up, Because I've always been the
yeah,
youngest whenever I'm playing with someone. I've
he,
always been the
he's
youngest.
24 now. He's gonna be 25 in 4 months.
It's
So
probably
Pretty
so
like
crazy.
amazing seeing that.
I mean, and I was young too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm only 3 or 4 years older than him, but still, the fact that he was such a little kid, and now he's a grown adult. I'm like, I still treat him like a little kid, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that will never change you. And I'm like, you're still this little 12-year-old boy, and he's like, he'll always call me Burger. Like a lot of people call me like Shake, and uh, like that whole group just call me Burger, and he'll just okay Burger. He's just so funny.
Yeah.
So just some stuff, you know.
So my second question
Mhm.
was about Warzone 2. So we had that same feeling about the original Warzone. Like we tried our hardest to keep staying on that game and keep playing
Yep.
it and just keep trying to
You're
find
trying
the
to hold
enjoyment.
on.
Yeah, trying to
Yep.
hold on. But then at some point, Apex was looking really good. Like Rogue
Yeah.
Company was
Ooh,
looking
Apex was
really
a
good.
scene for a little while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other games were just looking good. And when you started playing those other games, you kind of forgot about Verdansk and Fortune's
Yep.
Keep and stuff. And now for me, it's like extremely hard for me to even get back on Warzone and actually enjoy it. I gotta
You
have
know
it.
what's
Yeah.
funny? You asked me like when we were waiting for you, and we weren't sure what was gonna happen. He asked, he was like, "Do you want to get on Warzone?" And like any other day of the week, 2 years ago, I'd be like, "Of course, dog. Who else is getting on?"
Right.
But it was like I was like, I think I was sitting here like, if you want to, we can do that. I was like, I don't really get to play with you a lot anymore, so if that's what
And
you
you're
want to
sitting
do,
here
just
like,
yeah. I had to think about it. I was like, do I want to play? I was like,
what?
I want to play with you, but I don't know
Two,
if I
two
want
years
to play
ago
that.
today, you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
2 years
I
ago
want to go to
today.
Warzone because like it
Yeah,
was just such a vibe, even if you lost, it
Yeah,
was okay because
yeah.
you go right back in and whatever. It's I don't know if it
or
was
you
the
just go
map.
bully people on Search and Destroy.
Literally. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think it was the map. Caldera just I don't know if it's just I don't know.
I
It's
think it
Yeah, I
is
just
the
don't know
map.
what's
The
hitting.
new
wrong with
map
it.
was awful in my opinion. Like the feeling of it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like Rebirth's great and Fortune's Keep. Like I like the maps. It's just sometimes I'm not looking to sweat like that. Sometimes I'm just
Yeah.
looking to like, me. I like to snipe,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to do it on those maps.
Right.
And so like just to be in Verdansk and to be sniping, again, and but also not waiting 7 years to find somebody.
Yeah.
Like in Caldera. So,
Yeah, that's my biggest beef with that map is like I've tried to explain it to like Rim. Like I'm like, I have to have like, quick action all the time. Like this is
Right.
how
Like
I'm
Verdansk
wired.
was
Where
that perfect happy medium where it was like it
yeah,
was a bigger map and like you rotated to sections and like you kind of expected someone to be there or like you anticipated it and you got the advantage whether it was a hill and you got ready and stuff or you had a building and you were like just got ready versus like Caldera it's like
you could loop
where
for
is
15
everybody
Yeah.
minutes.
and
Yeah, you
not
can loop
find
for 15
anybody.
minutes and then just like die out of nowhere. Just all of a sudden you just hear that like, you know the
That
sound when you
ping
die.
from
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone up on peak and you're like I just got my loadout all the way over here, like, finally. Like, I just found
Yeah.
enough money after searching half the map.
Yeah,
Like,
and we were looking for the same violence a few seconds ago, but where were
right,
you?
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
It
yeah,
finds you, but when you're looking for it, it's never there. It's
right,
Yeah.
never there.
yeah.
But back to the question because I didn't even finish the question.
Sorry, sorry.
No, go
No,
ahead.
no, it's fine. It's fine. The question was gonna be because we've had people complain to us before about like not having teammates for Warzone, and like that's not something we can necessarily fix. We can't force someone to play a game
No,
they don't like.
Right.
yeah,
You
people don't
know,
want.
you know.
They just don't want it.
But I was
Right.
gonna ask, like, what do you think Call of Duty can do to just revive Warzone? Or do you think, like, in my opinion, my stance on it is that I just think the battle royale genre is kind of dying. I think people are kind of sick of playing the same type of game, whether it be Apex or the other battle royales like PUBG. They've been playing it for years upon years now. It's never
Yeah.
really too different. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, honestly, for me, and it could be a me problem, a lot of people that kill me, I'm like, are you hacking? You know,
Yeah,
and they probably aren't, but like you just never know anymore.
Yeah,
And that's I don't know if it's a problem with the game or a problem with society where it's just like it's not back in the day where you could just vibe. Like I know Verdansk got really bad at one point, but even in the beginning, like you could just vibe and not have that's not the first thing that crossed your mind. Whereas now it's like, wait, what? Like, and you have to like
yeah,
literally watch the kill cam sometimes, and that's not fun.
yeah,
right.
You know, it's just not. So, I would say like an appropriate anti-cheat, like one that actually is more successful than the last couple have been. Um, and we do need something different. I think we need something different besides just a basic battle royale. What that is, I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
if I knew, I'd probably be in California somewhere making a lot of money if I knew what the next thing was, but I don't. Um, and I think we're afraid of change.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know, I think we're so into this battle royale thing, that we are afraid of change and where we see change and we're like, is that gonna be good? You know, and
yeah.
it takes a lot to get on a bandwagon sometimes. You know, so I don't know. I don't know what the new thing will be. Maybe the multiplayer when it comes out will get more people involved. Um,
I know what the next
or
big thing is.
What is it?
what?
Hogwarts. That's going to be the next big
I am
thing.
so
That's
excited.
yeah. That's going to be the crazy thing coming
LG
up.
wife bought it for me for my birthday for when it
Oh,
comes
sick.
out.
That's
Yes.
sick.
Yep. I told her I'm gonna be sitting here in my Harry Potter pajamas, with
Hey, there
candles
you go.
going in the winter because it's coming out in the winter and the snow is gonna be falling and I'm not working at the pizzeria for like 2 days and I'm just gonna be working on my character. Yep.
Yeah, that's the only reason why Sarah and I even have a PS5 is because like she wanted that game, so we got the PS5 and it's been delayed for like a year now. So I
Yes.
know when that drops,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a wife anymore. You know,
He said
Well, at
he's
least
not
you've
see her.
gonna
accepted
have
it.
I'm never gonna see her again. She'll be
Yep.
playing that.
Well, you'll be like, well, it's okay.
Yeah,
Aw,
probably be like when like Warzone dropped, like how I was
how
constantly
you
on it. It'll
were,
be the same thing.
right?
Yeah,
You'll be like, she'll be like, what are you doing tonight? I'm playing Warzone.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every
Boys, you know.
every time Brian talks about his PS5, I don't know why. I just always think about how when he originally got it, he was so happy he originally got it. But he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to my wife and kids for Christmas. He's like, I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna make sure like they don't see it come to the door. Like when I read that, I was like,
it was in this closet. Like,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
that
That
was
is
so
so
And
cool.
I've never played it. I still have never played it.
That was the first
Really?
question. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you gonna stream on it? You gonna play on it? He's like, oh, no. I'm gonna give it to Sarah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I still have my original. I have not original PS4. My original PS4 broke. I had the Batman Arkham City edition, and I got it release day. I worked at Target, so I hid it for myself.
As you should.
I remember
I
working
did.
at Best Buy. It was a good time. It was a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Do
but
stuff
it
like
it
that.
got the power supply went on it, and
Oh,
so it would get to the point where like I could only get it to turn on if I unplug the HDMI from the TV. Um, because like when it was plugged in the TV, it was too much power. So I'd turn it on and then I would plug it into the TV and it would turn on, but then after like 5 minutes, it would die. So then I quickly traded it into Best Buy. I'm sorry, GameStop. And I was like, please work. Like, please don't
yeah.
die while I'm trying to trade you in. So it
Yeah,
worked,
you're just
and
watching it behind the counter like,
right.
Yeah.
I'm like, please just work for the like 30 seconds they have to test you.
yeah.
And it worked. So I got money for it. And I was like, oh, thank God. And I bought the Spider-Man edition of the Pro. So I have that.
Yeah.
And I just honestly, I started streaming off of it and I've used it for a long time. But since I got a PC, we use it for like Netflix and Hulu and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
it's like an old memory. Like, I'm not gonna get rid of it. And like PlayStation always has this spot in my heart for me. Like again, I had I sold it on eBay for actually $800, but I had the original 60 gig backwards compatible fat PlayStation. Do you
Wow.
guys remember? Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
And I, as much as I didn't want to sell it, I financially needed money at the time. But it was the backwards that played PS1 and PS2 and PS3 games. So
Yeah.
like I used to play all the original PS1 Harry Potter games on it on my
Yeah.
PS3. And it was only like 60 gigs. But like that's how long it came out in like 2007, I think it was when I got it. And so I I've had it since then. And
Nice.
so that's how long I've been on PlayStation. So I was like, I can't turn this thing in. I'm like, it's like old reliable to me. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I know there's like Xbox people and PlayStation people, but
Yeah.
I'll always have my PlayStation. I don't have a
Yeah,
PS5
you have
yet,
to.
but maybe someday. Or maybe I'll get
Yeah.
the new one when it comes out, whenever that is.
So what are you gonna run the Harry Potter game on? Did you like buy it through Steam or
Steam. Yep.
Steam?
She
Okay.
gifted it to me through Steam. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. I
so
wasn't sure
excited.
like if you guys were gonna have that like on PC. I didn't know that was a thing. That's kind of
Yes.
cool.
So when it originally was released, it was PlayStation only.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like I was honestly debating because obviously I'm going to stream this game. I was debating
Yeah.
on getting a capture card. I'm not sure. Like, is that what it's
Right.
called?
Yeah.
And I was going to bring my PlayStation 5 over here so I could stream it from my PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4. Oh my gosh. Now I'm like
Yeah.
getting everywhere. But then they put it on Steam. And so I was like, oh, thank God. I don't have to move anything and we can still use that for Netflix and stuff. So
Yeah.
it worked. But I know when they first were like PlayStation exclusive, I was like, wow. I was like,
I
it's
feel like
awesome,
that's-
but I don't want to sit there and play it on my 55 inch.
I
It's-
definitely
it's-
feel like we get
yeah.
the cooler games on Sony, like not doing a console or anything, but I think objectively
right, you're right.
speaking, like the
Console
stuff that
war.
like I just think Xbox has like Halo and like Forza and like that's it. Like we get the Spider-Man games, like
Yeah.
God of
Last
War.
of Us.
Yeah,
Oh,
we get the better games, like overall.
oh yeah, we do.
But Sony's at least like releasing games on PC. Like you can get Spider-Man on PC now. Like they know what they're doing. It's smart. Like
Right.
because it opens up your audience a little bit more to the people who have $2,000 on their PC that they've invested but still want to play these games.
Right.
You can sell them for $60 on Steam, maybe
Right.
make like 30 or 40% whatever they get back, and like that's extra money.
Right.
I don't know why you wouldn't want that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I do have one more question before
Sure.
we try to enter closing a little bit because we're heading like an hour 30 close to it.
Okay.
So is there any aspects of you or your personality that doesn't get shown on stream that you think that people should know about? Whether it be like a TV series you love to watch, or something you love to wear, or something you love to do. What's something that doesn't really get spotlight on your channel?
Um, I guess it would be I love, and it's not like the like cliche, like I love crime shows.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely love the brain. Like I love the brain. So like I have a bachelor of arts in psychology.
Okay.
And so yeah, so I graduated a minor in political science. So I did a lot of studying in college on like criminology and serial killers. And I'm not like not in a weird way, like I think they're so cool. I I think the brain is so interesting. Just how we don't know much about it and why this person acts this way, different temperaments and stuff. So I guess that would kind of shift into why I enjoy um, s- crime shows, documentaries, and stuff like that. But like when I'm finding something to watch, that's typically like if it's a documentary on stuff, like I've seen it. Um,
Yeah.
Law and Order. Law and Order is my background noise. Like I don't even like necessarily watch the episodes anymore. It's more so like background noise to me. Like
Yeah.
I'll just have it playing in the background just to have like noise. Like I've seen Law and Order SVU probably 70 times and that's not even an exaggeration. Like I just love um I just like it. I just love it a lot.
Have you watched
Like
Mindhunters?
Me in a nutshell.
yes. Yes.
Me and Brian love
Yeah.
that show.
Yes.
We've been waiting for
Yeah.
a season 3 for so long.
Any
They're teasing us.
sort of yes, any
They
sort
just
of
won't give it to
show.
us.
I know it. Uh and I think it's more of for me it's the brain aspect and it's just so interesting to me. Not, the crime part, but just like why, the
Yeah.
why whether it's your trauma or your environment or genetics or were you just born like this, or your brain setup, just the why part to me is just, I did a lot of studying on that in college. And so, um, yeah, I watched a lot of crime shows. I watched a ton of NCIS back in the day. I'm not too much into CSI, but I really watch a lot of like I like the documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As like yes, I watched the new Dahmer. I really enjoyed the Ted Bundy and like to all the to hunt a killers and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So like
I would have never known or guessed it because that's
Me either.
exactly my vibe. That's exactly
love
like
that
if
stuff.
I'm looking
really,
for something to watch on TV, I'm looking for it. Like my show that I've probably seen, aside from like SVU, because I've seen that like a billion times also.
literally, and it never gets
Yeah.
old.
I loved
When Elliot
Forensic
Stabler
Files.
left, oh, Forensic
Forensic
Yeah,
Files.
yeah.
Files,
Stabler
okay.
when Stabler left is like when I stopped watching. Like it just wasn't
I
the
was
same
so upset. Season 15, episode 7, when he left.
anymore.
Literally,
30
but
seconds in.
yep, no. Have you seen the new show, Law and Order Organized Crime with
I
Stabler?
haven't yet, but yeah, I know that he's back.
You would enjoy it. It goes back and forth between Law and Order season 23, which is like the most recent season, and Law and Order Organized Crime. All of them, like seasons 1, 2, and
Okay.
3. So like Liv, Mariska Hargitay, she
Yeah.
makes an appearance in Organized Crime with Chris Maloney,
Mhm.
which is really cool because like to
Yeah,
me
getting
they
them
are
back
like
together.
they are the pair, like they're the most iconic pair in my life.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool to see it go back and forth and kind of intertwine in each other's investigations, so
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend watching that. It's really cool, and it's really cool to see him back. And a lot of people in organized crime are like his original family members are there. Yeah, it's
Sick.
really cool. It's really cool. So I definitely recommend it. But yeah, I would say that's probably not a lot people know about me is that I'm watching crime shows.
Yeah, that's me. Like the moment when
Yep.
I'm like trying to go to sleep, I'm like, all right, time to turn on crime shows. And it's
Yep.
hard to
Yeah.
explain to people. It's like it's not the
They
crime.
think
Like
you're
you're
like,
not glorifying it. You're
yes,
just like
they're like, are you
it's easy
psycho?
viewing.
I'm like, no, it's just like, I don't know.
Like, why do
Crime
these
shows.
people do these things? Basically,
Right.
You
And
know.
they're like, why do you enjoy watching this? And I'm like, that's just it.
How I'm wired.
Right.
Legit.
Yeah. Built different.
Legit, my
Yeah,
favorite
just
thing.
built different.
my favorite thing to
Yeah.
watch regarding like crime and stuff. Like I've gone through so many of the documentaries on Netflix and stuff like that. Where at this point, I'm just watching videos on YouTube of people talking about it and like talking about stuff. Like I'll follow like 5 different
Getting your
channels.
fix.
You know,
Yup.
honestly, because I'm like I
Yes.
watched everything, bro. I can't.
Yes. I follow people like they're like groups on not groups, but like there's this like Facebook thing, and they literally will take like old unsolved crimes, and a lot of them are like people who have
Mm.
disappeared in like oceans, lakes, ponds and
hmm
stuff. Like, and they will like find like cars and stuff by like I don't know what it's like I don't know, they like look at it through the water, and they're like, okay, there's a car here, there's a car here in the water, and they will literally get the cars out of the water that have been sitting there 20 years, and they will identify people who have been missing.
Really?
Oh wow,
Yeah, and
that's
I'm like,
crazy.
holy cow! And I follow that on Facebook, and if I'm just scrolling through like bored, I'm just like, all right, who are we? Not to like be like we like who are we finding today? Like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I
like this
get it. I
person's
get
it.
been
it.
missing for like 26 years. They went missing such and such night. Their car was never found, and so then they hired this group to like search all the local waters, and then if they find any cars in the water, they like have scuba divers go down and identify the car and stuff. And then the family's like, yep, that was the make and model of the car. And then they bring the car up and see if there's any remains in the car. Like, yeah. So I watch that stuff too.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. Or
That's
it's
sick.
cool to see closure, with the family. So.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
the best part of it. Like, sorry, let me plug this in real quick.
No, you're okay.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
but that's definitely between that and the actual documentaries, just I guess, and just to see like the realistic part too, besides like the shows where it's glorified and stuff, but to actually see the realistic part of like what people go through, to also understand um that it's not just a show, like this
hmm
is what people actually have gone through as well. And people have
Yeah.
to remember that.
I love seeing them solve it, and I also love seeing
Yes.
how they solve it. Like, what are the ways
Yes.
that they figure out? Like, how do they get in this person's mind? You know, how do they
Yes.
get in the mind and think, okay, well, they're not gonna do this to a specific person because that's not what they want. They want
Yep.
this
Yeah.
person with this color hair because they remind them of like the mom or something like that. You know, it's
Yes.
always
Yes.
crazy to see
And
that
that's
type
to
of
come
stuff.
down to the brain part, like why did they do what they do, and the
Exactly.
color and stuff. That could be a trauma thing, and so that's the part that it's like, whether they're wired different, the trauma, the experience,
Nature versus nurture.
genetics. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. That's the part that like interests me. It's like how we are so sensitive to stuff like that.
exactly.
I think one of the most satisfying parts, and it's probably weird, is just like seeing like the little things forensically that get people caught. Like they will do
Yeah,
like perfect crimes, and then they'll be like, and then there was this trilobal strand of fibers that were like on the ground, and then they're like, and they were manufactured in this plant in Cary, North Carolina, and so we
Yeah.
tracked it back. Like that kind of stuff is like cool to me. It's like, oh, look at you. You were already a piece of crap human being, and
Yep.
then you thought you were getting over, and then you got stopped by like 3 fibers.
you know,
Yep.
you know what was the craziest thing in that Mindhunter show? I think it was Mindhunter, where that the guy got caught because he changed his carpet or something like that, but there was a little patch of
Yeah.
carpet
Yes.
still there.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yep.
you look at how like these crazy
Yep.
crimes these guys are doing. I'm like, how do you cover up so well and then do something so stupid? You know?
Yep.
Well, I think it's just one of those like good prevailing over evil things. Like I feel like
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
happened. It
Yeah.
just has happened. It's just how the universe is formed.
Exactly.
And I like it. I like seeing the bad guy go down. Like I
You
love
gotta
it. It's
love
so
it. You gotta
satisfying.
love
The
it.
King's Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
got caught. Yeah.
Now it's weird. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like crimes from like your town or anything like that, but like on Forensic Files, there's at least like 3 or 4 that were like in Raleigh, like where I grew up. And so like I knew the names, I knew the cases, but I didn't know
Right.
like all the details behind it. It's like, oh, that's how they got caught. Like it's really cool.
You know, the
Wow.
only things I've seen in my town, they're not crime documentaries. It's the freaking Cheetahs show. And I'll be like, yo, I recognize that
Oh,
Oh,
store.
cheaters
wow.
like Joey
Yeah.
Greco?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll be like, yo, I recognize
You're old
that
enough for that?
store. Yeah, I love that show. I used to watch it all the
What?
time as a kid. I mean, watch that. I used to watch Jerry Springer too. Don't ask. But
That's
those are
funny.
my kids'
That's
TV
funny.
shows. I love those
Oh
shows.
my gosh.
But we've been filming for over an hour and 30 minutes now. So we should enter closing. First, let's hear your plug, Shake. Let's hear where we can find you
Yeah,
at
tell us
Twitter,
where-
Instagram, everything.
Drop
Okay.
those
Well,
codes also.
I'm Shakeinburger on everything. SHAKEINBURGER, literally. On everything, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Twitch, Twitter. Those two have a 15 on the end because they were taken by childhood me who lost the password. So,
Oh no.
yeah, I am the original Shakeinburger, but I don't remember the password, so I had to add a 15 onto it. But anyway, so yeah, Shakeinburger on everything. That's pretty much it. It's easy. Shakeinburger on everything.
Perfect.
On all
Fair
socials.
enough.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And don't forget to drop her a happy birthday in the comments.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
must.
Yes.
Drop a
I'm old.
like and make sure you go follow
You're not
her.
old.
Make sure you go follow her. She's mad entertaining. She's always streaming, always creating
Thanks.
content. Go drop a follow on behalf of POS.
Absolutely. If you are looking for someone to pattern yourself as and you are a new content creator, 10 out of 10 recommend. During my early stages, Shake was one of the first people I ever experienced. So yeah, you don't forget people like her. Definitely pattern yourself after her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Aw, thanks.
Yes, sir.
You.
All right, guys. Drop a comment if you with who you want to see in the next podcast. We got a couple coming up. And for right now, we will catch you guys later.
Thank you guys so much.
Later.
Bye.